and welcome to the Motorsport Coaching Podcast, sponsored by MotiV8 Training and Management. This is a podcast where we talk to drivers and industry experts to help you maximize your performances on and off the track. Let's get started with today's show. So welcome to the show, Marcus.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So I am excited because you are one of my first speedway drivers for 2019. And of course, you're coming off your maiden win on December 27th at Parramatta. So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's good. Good to get monkey off the back. That's for sure.
Yeah. So it kind of hasn't really been that long time coming though, has it?
Yes and no. I've put a lot of effort in, and so I kind of hope it's good to get something out. Still climbing way up the ranks, that's for sure.
Yeah, so let's go from the start, from your career. So you started off initially motorbikes when you were about 5?
Yeah, exactly. I started racing bikes with my brother, and that's what we did. And Dad used to take us around racing. And then when I got a little bit older, Dad wanted me to start racing go-karts, so that's what I did. But I preferred bikes, but if I wanted to race sprint cars, I had to go down that way. So that's what I kind of did. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you want to race sprint cars, or did your dad want you to?
I always definitely wanted to race sprint cars. It's just wasn't interested in go-karts at all because, motorbikes was a lot more adrenaline in it and it's a lot more exciting for me. Yeah, I always wanted to do sprint cars. I've been working on Dad's car since I was probably 9. Got to start driving when I was 16, so.
Fantastic. But you did have a good result in the karting. So you won an Australian championship like in the first 12 months, didn't you?
I think it was my second year. I'm not sure. I can't really remember. Yeah, it wasn't too bad at the karts, but it's nowhere near as enjoyable as sprint car racing and all the rest of it, that's for sure.
Yeah, so let's talk about your sprint car championship. So you started in around about 2015?
2015-16 season.
Yeah, and you won the Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, I got the Rookie of the Year at Valvoline Raceway, so that was good as well, yeah.
Yeah, and so in order to get that, like how many races were you doing? I know that the series has definitely changed from back then to now, to how many rounds and so forth. So just talk us through a bit.
Yeah, I think it was just 21 rounds. It was just like sort of the track championship. And it was just Rookie of the Year at Valvoline Raceway. So got that my first season, which was pretty good, and got a couple top 10s, I think, which is pretty good for a rookie, I think. Yeah, wasn't too bad.
Yeah, so you've had a couple of podiums throughout the last 3 or 4 years. Yeah, I've got about 4 here. So and the last time I've got here was second place last year, second place in March of last year. So really over the last 12 months you've been, March to December, that 7-8 months period you were working hard to get that monkey off your back, so to speak.
Yeah, my last season was when I started kind of coming through and understanding how it all works around me, and just getting on top of the car has been the problem lately, and we're starting to get a good firm grip on it, and speed's kind of showing in top 5 every night so far since Christmas started, so keep the ball rolling. Yeah,
fantastic. And so what is the grand plan for 2019?
Just keep working hard and racing, really. I'll end up back in America once the Australian season's done and racing over there, which I generally have been doing since I started. And yeah, just focusing on our season at the moment, that's about it. And between that and work, that's sure.
So what do you do for work, or is racing a sprint car your full-time career?
Nah, definitely not my full-time career. I work for my parents in a machine shop doing fitting machining. So yeah, that's my trade and that's my apprenticeship. That's what I'm doing. So
yeah, I was going to say, have you done an apprenticeship, or you're currently doing one?
I'm going in my 3rd year, so yeah, that's what I do. So finish that, and then I'd say I'll get my trade in that, and then I'll get a lot more into racing and probably spend a whole 6 months or to 8 months in America once I get a trade. So yeah.
And do you feel like there's a lot of pressure for you to live up to your surname, or I'm sure you get asked that question a lot, or you are who you are and you don't really care what kind of...
I know where I've come from, and I've got a lot of respect, and I'm not going to say I'm going to be better because I know that's pretty much near impossible. You can't really do what my dad's done as far as I'm concerned, and I don't think anyone really will. So I just want to do the best things I do and live up to it that way, because I don't think I'm ever going to be racing those many things and whatnot. So, but oh well.
Just see what happens, hey? So you just had a birthday. Did you turn 18 or 19?
Turned 19 August last year, yeah. So getting a little bit older.
Yes. So tell us, for those people who don't really know the difference between racing in Australia to racing in the US, like what's it like as far as like 1, the competition, but 2, the fan base, 3, the fan experience. How does it differ from here to them?
Well, it's a lot more, like everyone gets a lot more pumped up in Australia, I find, whereas America, you roll in and race. Like no one knows who's going to be there, sort of thing. And there's a lot less pressure put on a driver in America, that's for sure. But the talent's a lot stronger, so it's harder over there. But it's just a whole different atmosphere in Australia again. So, but like it that way, it's good. So.
Yeah, so they're really die-hard fans, the speedway crowd, aren't they?
Yeah, they definitely are, that's for sure. And kind of get that with every sport, you'd say, like between vet supercars and MotoGP and all that. They're all die-hard fans, so or else they wouldn't be out there.
Yeah. And apart from your dad, have you got any mentors or have you had any correction from any other drivers that you look up to?
Just my crew chiefs, really, between them and my brothers. And yeah, it's just kind of in-house sort of deal. I've got a little bit some days, like it's pretty, you get some days that like top guys from MotiV8 Outlaws will give you a couple of words of wisdom and what you should be thinking about and what you should be doing, and you take them on board and they generally go pretty good. Like the other night when I won, I had Jeff Leakes there telling me what I should be thinking, and yeah, it didn't work out too bad. So that's good.
And what kind of other training do you do, or if any, to race every weekend? Do you have a vigorous fitness routine, or you're conscious of what you eat, or do you do any mind preparation stuff before your big race?
Not really. I'll just go to the gym 4 days a week and just watch what I'm eating Monday to Friday, and then the weekend's sort of the weekend. But I'm not really that vigorous on it to say. Pretty relaxed. Only in the car for 10 minutes, so.
Yeah.
Even though it's a pretty demanding 10 minutes, it's kind of, to race the sprint cars, can't do much about it in the gym. It's just learning how they work and being car fit, because people like my dad are pretty old and know about a sprint car and they barely crack the sweat, and then you've got a gym freak rock up and race one for 10 laps and they about die. It's just, getting to know the race cars and getting race car fit, really.
Are the cars heavy in all that mud? Like,
no, they only weigh about 1,500 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really. I don't know. I have to
convert
that to kilos. Yeah, but so they're pretty light, and then you got a lot of horsepower as well. So yeah, they're really good.
So I assume that your reaction times though would have to be pretty on cue.
Yeah, it's definitely you got to react. Like speedway's a lot different to any other sport, because you're racing around people wheel to wheel, 24 other cars on a quarter-mile track, and you're getting pretty close at times, throwing slide jobs and everything else, and you got to be prepared for them to do something and just preempt it most of the time, because things change pretty quick out there when you're moving as fast as we do. Yeah,
and I'm just thinking about the driving ability. When you won, your brother said that you never take the high line, and so he wasn't expecting to see you up the top there. So what is that? What's the benefit of driving high and driving low for those?
It's just risk and reward at the end of the day. Running the top, you carry a lot more speed, but there's a lot more risk involved, because you can hit the wall or fall off the track, and then you lose a lot of spots. Whereas running the bottom, you can't really mess it up unless you spin out. Yeah, he said that, because I generally run the bottom because I don't like following people. And I can usually get the bottom going pretty good, and everyone's running the top, so I can kind of keep up with them that way. But that night, everyone thought it was a good idea to run the bottom, and I was like, well, I'm going to go to the top then. So yeah, I don't really have a preferred line, just the one no one's on.
That's right, just the fastest to get you to the flag.
Yeah, may not be the fastest, but as long as no one's in front of me, I'm happy.
Yeah, and so we're just talking about going to pass somebody. Is the car heavy to move? Or like, is there a lot of oversteer, or is it just like a boat that you just need to touch it a little bit and it goes?
Yeah,
tell us a little bit about the steering.
They react pretty fast because they're not heavy, and we got power steering, and they're driving on the rear tires very hard, so you don't have to try that hard for them to turn. They almost do it themselves, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you turn pretty hard right down the straight, and then to turn left, you don't really have to do that much. It's just all about keeping the wheels pointing the right way, and throttling it is to where you make your speed if you're not throttling it right. But you learn that in time. I don't really think about that much, like as far as braking and throttling. I just steer it. My feet kind of just do the rest these days. So yeah.
Yeah, you just go into autopilot.
Yeah, pretty much. You just muscle memory.
And have you had many crashes?
Yeah, I had a big one at the start of the season. Kind of wrecked everything.
Yeah.
But you get that. But had a few big ones. That I'm still young, so I bounce back pretty fast. So yeah, it doesn't really annoy me.
And are the cars expensive to repair?
Yeah, it depends what you do. Like a top wing, anytime you roll over, whether it's hard or not, it's $1,500 straight away. It depends on how much you wreck. Like a rear end's $5,000, and then it's chassis another $5,000, front ends like assemblies about $1,500, and like it all racks up pretty fast if you have a big one. That's for sure.
And how do you fund your sport? Do you have any sponsors or?
Well, major sponsors
goes towards your racing, or?
Yeah, well, Valvoline's the major sponsor of our team, like Matt, Dad, and myself. They kind of do a lot for us, help us a lot between that and giving us products. They get us down the road pretty well. And then we've got GCar Transport, which they help us with the fuel for the trucks, which is a major part of it, especially when you've got 3 transporters going down the road. Like that racks up very fast, faster than you can imagine, really. And just between those two and just being careful on what you're using and not wasting tyres, for say, and just all that sort of things, we're doing pretty well.
And to race at top quality, always making the A game, what kind of funds is required to race sprint cars? Is it like, how much does it cost really? Like if you're seeking sponsorship, is it $100,000 per season? Is it $200,000? I'm just putting it in comparison to circuit racing.
Yeah, it's not even close to circuit racing really. But speedway is a funny thing, whereas it's good to have the good motors and the rest of that, but it all comes down to ability at the end of the day, and you're not really going to do so much. Money won't buy running up the front. It's down to the driver really, and putting it in the right places at the end of the day. But to run a decent team, I don't know whether, if you've already got everything, got the motor, you're looking at about $2,000 a race just for motor maintenance, and then tyres. It's about $3,000. You're looking at $2,500-3,000 each meeting. So that's a rough ballpark generally.
Yeah, and I guess your biggest expense, apart from after you crash a car, would be actually like in fuel, like you said, in accommodation, because you kind of race, Monday night at Parramatta, and then Wednesday night you could be at Adelaide, and then Friday you can be at Warrnambool.
Yeah, you get around quite a lot, and you do have to save expenses when you can, so that's what we try and do. But it definitely differs. Depends on good night on tyres and bad night on tyres as well. Some nights you won't even use one, but then some nights you'll do 8 tyres, so they're the bad nights.
And are tyres expensive?
Yeah, they're probably about the same as every other race car out there, about $380. So like for left rear and right rear, and front's just a little cheaper. But all racing tyres are kind of up there like that. But we definitely don't bolt them on like circuit racers do. We try to get as much out of them as we can.
Yeah, and so when you go to America, what does your world look like then? Do you live on, or does the Dumesny have a unit there?
No, I just stay at the car owner. It's like my friend's house. When I race there and just race and work on the car and just do that sort of thing. And do what I do to get by really. And
does your sister live there?
Yeah, my sister lives in Indianapolis, out in Bloomington way. She's got a boyfriend over there, so it's all pretty good when you go over there. You get to visit her and whatnot, so it's good. And
so does the whole family go for that 8-month period?
I only generally go for 2 months, but
2 months, yeah.
Yeah, that's generally just me. I'll go by myself. That's what I have been doing the last couple of years, and whether Matt races there or not, we'll be there together. But it's generally just us.
As in, like, just you and your dad, or like you and your pit crew, or who?
Nah,
you've got your pit crew over there?
Yeah, and just kind of change quite easily, and then it's just me that go over. As long as you get along with your crew chief, you would generally be just fine.
Yeah, and what about your race number? Have you always had that number 47, and is there any significant value to that number?
Yeah, well, I had it in motorbikes. I was 147, and it just yeah, kind of got the speedway and I dropped the one off, so it was just 47. So yeah, it's kind of turned out that way because Matt got 57 because he started early because he's got dad plus another one of his favourite drivers, and then I was like, well, I'll just be 4 because I can't get. Yeah, but I always wanted to be 55, but I couldn't get that, so really? I just went with 47. So kind of established the brand now. I can't really go changing it.
Yeah, it's going great. So you've got those lockdown sponsored T-shirts I saw, so they look good.
Yeah, it's just a collaboration with them. Like, it just works out a lot easier for myself, and and they allow me to sell the shirts off their website because it's kind of collaborated with them. It says lockdown on the back, and yeah, they sell them for me, so it all works out quite well, really.
Fantastic. Yeah. And have you ever done any circuit racing yourself? I know a lot of circuit racers end up racing sprint cars or speed cars throughout their off season. What about yourself? Do you flip over and do or have?
I've done it. I did one go-kart race.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of practice laps and did one go-kart race, but it just wasn't my kettle of fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do it too bad, but it just wasn't exciting enough for me, really. It didn't do it for me.
The need for speed.
Yeah, no, well, they go pretty fast. It's just how close you race with people and passing, and it happens a lot more in motorbikes and speedway, I find. And like, I wouldn't mind, say, road racing bikes because that's pretty wild. I don't. Yeah. But,
and have you got any friends or networks that race in the motorcycle?
Not particularly, no. But yeah, I just enjoy watching it when I can. Generally, turn on the MotoGP and keep on track with that. Yeah, watch all that. So.
And who's your favourite driver in there?
Rider.
Righty.
Yeah, always used to like Valentino Rossi, obviously, and then I liked Marc Marquez too. But he's just, once they get really good and start winning, you want to find someone else that's not so good. You want to see them go good. So, because you're kind of doing the same in your career. So, yeah, don't mind watching Jack Miller and all those guys too. So, yeah.
Any of the Australian guys.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so you just mentioned, Marcus, when you're away from the track, you like doing motorbike riding, and I see you like doing skiing. I also read that you like singing.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to do sing when I was at school, all through high school and whatnot. I was lead singer of the band, but
yeah,
just started racing and working, and kind of don't do it anymore.
So what kind of music do you sing? Are you singing musicals, or are you doing rock, or are you doing?
Nah, more like rock sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just any sort of rock I can generally do it.
So when you had your maiden win, did you hit the karaoke bar that night, or?
Nah, just because we had to race the night after, just went straight to the car wash and got to work. Yeah, didn't really get to celebrate it, but oh well.
Oh, so what's one of your favourite racetracks, either in Australia or in America, when it comes to racing?
Well, Parramatta is always really racy. It's just hard to get a grip on it first. Once you kind of get a grip on it, you've got yourself sorted. So it's a really racy track, and it's fun. When it's generally always fun over here. So but that, and then in America, a track in California called Ocean Speedway. I don't mind racing there. Yeah, it's definitely a fun track racing there. And then you've got all the big tracks, which I haven't raced at, but I'm sure when I race there, they'll be on my favourites. And
is that your ambition, just to have a long life sprint car career like your dad's, or?
I don't know if I want to race as long as Dad. I just want to have a successful career and just enjoy what I'm doing, really. And Speedway is the funnest part of my life, so that's why I'm doing it. And I guess I'll just keep doing it till I'm not enjoying it anymore, and then I'd say that's when I hang up the wheel. But yeah, I reckon I'll be enjoying it for a fair few years to come.
Yeah, for sure. We can't wait to see what happens in that coming years. So what's coming up for you the next couple of weeks? What race meetings do you have?
So tomorrow night it's the Scott Darley, and the night after, so that's the biggest race in Sydney on our calendar. So that's a really good one to go and watch. And then we go to the President's Cup in Avalon. That's on the Wednesday. And then you go drive to Mount Gambier again for the King's Challenge. That's on Thursday. And then it's a classic Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then we got to load up and drive across the country and get to Brisbane to race on Wednesday. And that's the Australian title Friday, Saturday.
And do you drive all together in a truck, or who drives, or do you have
I can drive smaller trucks, but someone's lending me, Wayne Rowett is lending me his Sammy and Prime Mover, so I can't really drive this because I only got a little smaller truck license, but Yeah, we all generally traveling together because when something goes wrong, it's a lot easier when we're all together. So we generally, travel in a pack of 3.
Yeah.
So we've got each other's back at the end of the day. So yeah,
Fantastic.
it's a lot easier doing it that way.
Yeah. Where's Mum? She's over it now. She just stays home.
No, Mum still comes away. Yeah, she'll come away with us to the Classic, and when we're away for a couple of weeks at a time, she'll come with us and just hop in the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll all just ride up together. So it's all.
Do you play games in the truck?
Plug in the AUX and chill out and just look out the window.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Marcus. I really appreciate it.
No worries.
And all the best for the 2019 rest of the race season for you.
Yeah.
We've got a couple more race meetings to go. We'll be following you. In the show notes, I'll put the links to your Facebook group, Facebook and website.
Yeah, no worries.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again, Marcus. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Well, thanks everyone for listening to this week's show. I really hope you enjoyed that one as much as I did. Now, remember, all the show notes with the links and the specials mentioned in today's show are available over at MotiV8Training.com.au. If you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it if you could head to iTunes or Stitcher, type in Motorsport Coaching, subscribe, and leave us a review. Each week, I'll read them out and you'll go into monthly draw to win a fantastic prize. If you have any questions or comments, please email us at MotiV8Training.com.au or head over to our Facebook page at MotiV8T. Until next time, take care.